Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm Jamie B. I read a ton of books. And this is the video in which I set up my 26 and 26 stacks for 2026. I was debating whether I was going to do something else with it, but I have a fiction list. I have a nonfiction list. That's, 52 books, which is actually like one per week, which is not that bad. Anyway, so I have a 26 and 26 list. I'm not going to be aiming for like 2 in a month or 4 in a month or whatever. I'm going to read them whenever, partly because it really depends on what readathons and other activities I'm doing and what buddy reads there might be. I know of at least one person besides me that wants to read 1776, for example. A lovely history book about the beginning of the United States in the Revolutionary War. So that one may turn into a buddy read. I will be reading a Jan Martel book as one of my 26 and 26. I'm also probably buddy reading the new Jan Martel arc in March. Stay tuned for more information about that. Probably with Nicole at Dusty Book Sniffers. Jan Martel won the Booker Prize for his Life of Pi. So obviously he's an author to watch for this coming year's prize season. So there's that. Memoirs of a Geisha might turn into a buddy read. I know of at least one person that might want to buddy read that one with me. So yeah, and once I've posted my videos, not just my list, which is on my Discord, I have a feeling that some of my reading schedule will depend on what my friends want to do. Otherwise, I'm going to read them when I'm in the mood for them, but trying to actually finish all 52 of them, along with all the other books that I read. As of this moment, I have finished 454, maybe 57, I don't remember. More than 450 books in the year of 2025. So 52 books, not a big deal. I'm really bad about assignments and assigned reading. Like, I'm one of those people that if it's not an assignment, I'll read War and Peace. If it's an assigned reading and it's 100 pages long, I'll read anything but that 100 pages. Just, yeah. So, even though I'm the one assigning it, there's still an element of that. It's so hard for me to finish a stack that I've said I'm going to finish. So, we'll see. Although, you'll see behind me let's see if I have a pointer stick. Pointer sticks are nice. So, that shelf behind me, right there, it has evolved slightly. All the books on that shelf now are ones that I've finished. Or in the case of the Inca history book, I'm listening to the audiobook of that. I'm at about 50%. So everything else in that shelf is actually books that I've finished this month. So, yay. And a lot of them were the ones that were on that shelf to be read in December. Not all of them, but enough of them that I can say that I kind of followed my TBR this month again. It's crazy. Anyway, yay. Let's get to the 26 and 26, shall we? I'm going to start with fiction. That's what a lot of people read. And this is maybe going to be a bit of a long one because I am going to talk about the books a little bit. So with 52 books, it might end up being a split. I would not be surprised if this is part one and the next one is part two, and this one's the fiction and the next one is the nonfiction, because it takes a few minutes to actually talk about the books I'm going to read. Maybe. We'll see. So let me grab the first stack and we will get started. Okay. We got the first 13. So let's get started. And I had to adjust my desk a little bit because it's chaos. You can't see it, but it's chaos. So I had to make a space so I can have somewhere to even stack them. So the first one on my stack is the fattest of my John Barth books. I've acquired several that are on the Boxall's 1001 Books You Must Read Before You Die list. And I intended to actually read them all. So this is the one I'm going to put on my 26 and 26. The Sotweed Factor. I know nothing about it. All I know is this author shows up a lot on the Boxall list. And I'd like to get the longest one done first. It may not be the longest one. It's the longest or the fattest, anyway, of the ones I own. I also do own Giles Goat Boy, which is mentioned on the cover of this one. If I like it, I might do a binge of John Barth books. So that may happen, which means it might be further in the year. Because that's something that works for like July. I'm guessing there will be a competitive readathon in April, probably. I will be probably participating heavily in Kooky Mayhem in May, and probably will not be doing too much more than that, although if there's a tantalizing enough competitive readathon, I will probably be on a team. But then there's Tar, the Amazing Readathon in June. I don't know for sure about any of these, so I'm just guessing based on what I've heard and seen which ones probably will be things I will be doing. So my guess is that if I want to binge read an author and not have it run into, cutting down my points for competitiveness, probably July is my guess. So if you have been interested in John Barth and that sounds interesting to you, let me know, because we could definitely do like an in-depth several book buddy read in July. I like to do that because then you get in the author's voice a little bit better, and you can compare earlier and later works and see how they deal with different subjects. I did that with J.G. Ballard, and there's whole categories of books that he writes, and once you recognize what his categories are, then when you read a new one, you can fit it into, like, what category is this one? Like, what story is he working on at this point? So that might be a plan for July. And we have Out Stealing Horses, which is much thinner. This is by Per Patterson, translated by Anne Bourne. There's the horses. I really like world literature, so I always just grab them. This is winner of the Impact Dublin Literary Award. I have a feeling that is the Dublin Literary Award that I look at now. I'm pretty sure that's the same award. So, award-winning book, prize list I follow, and where is it from? You'd think if it's translated, they would say on the back, translated from or something like that. Anyway, Scandinavian author, translated into English. We will definitely get into that more when I read it. Walking on the Ceiling, a novel by Aysegul Savas. I have no idea what the different S's do. Maybe I'll figure that out by the time I read it. Again, not very fat. This author was mentioned on lists this year. Not prize lists exactly, but lists, like best of from big publications lists. So, yeah. And I know that Savas has been nominated for things. I just don't remember off the top of my head. And it's not saying anything on the back. So, this one I grabbed as one of my 6 hours. One of my books for working for 6 hours at the Friends of the Library bookstore. Because I recognize the author. This one I've been curious about for a while. Master of the Crossroads, a novel of Haiti by Madison Smart Bell. There we go. And if I like this one, I also do have All Souls Rising by the same author. So this is another one. If I enjoy it, then sometime after, I might pick up the other book I have by her. This is one. It's a coverless book. It's yellow. This is one that I was supposed to be buddy reading with one of my sisters. She's not started it yet. So that plan didn't work for 2025. But this is Ship of Fools by Catherine Ann Porter. She can read it with me if she wants, but I'm going to be reading it in 2026, and this time I'm just going to go for it, and she can read it when she's ready. So, yeah. I just want to get it done. It's a bigger book. It'll be nice to have it done. Spool of Blue Thread by Ann Tyler, shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize, with one of those annoying stickers. We have this nifty tool to scrape the stickers off nicely, that I need to borrow one from the bookstore, because now that I take stickers off kind of for my job, it drives me nuts. I can almost get this one off, but anyway, it won't have a sticker on it by the time I'm done with it. Yeah. I have a lot more Ann Tyler, too, if I like it. And I don't remember when I last saw Ann Tyler on an arc. But I'm going to be keeping an eye out for her because she also is a winner of the Pulitzer Prize. So, books by her might be on prize lists. My Name is Red by Orhan Pamuk. It's on prize lists. I don't remember which ones. It's translated from the Turkish. This one actually says it on the back of the book. I love that. It was a New York Times notable book. I'm pretty sure it's on a Dublin Literary Award list, but don't quote me on that one. But I know it's on lists. And I love the cover. It's pretty. It's so colorful. And it wraps around to the spine. Not so much the back of the book. The back of the book's blurbs, but anyway, I like the cover design. This one not so much, but The Death of Artemio Cruz by Carlos Fuentes in a new translation. One of the uglier covers I have in my stacks. I don't know what they were thinking. It's not an attractive cover. And the back is okay. Yeah, that's okay. Spine, not so much. The contrast between the title and the background is not very good. So, not a good design. Other one was way better. Who's the publisher of this? This is for our Strauss and Giroux. This one is vintage. Vintage International. So, one of those things, I didn't used to even look at the publisher, but now I'm doing my ARC reading. I'm paying a little attention. A Ship Made of Paper by Scott Spencer. It's a National Book Award finalist. It has the thingy on it. This one I've never heard of before, but it has the thingy on it. Like, oh, I probably will want that book. And it's, bed with a girl on it. There's a girl. You can see her. She's there. She's a girl. So that's all I know about it from the cover. Let's see. So a dude who lives with a woman and is like a father to her daughter, but he is in love with in lust with someone whose son is Ruby's best friend. This sounds convoluted. I'm hoping that the actual novel makes that sound a little bit less weird and complicated. Because, back of the book, I'd be like, okay. It hasn't drawn me in. If it wasn't for the fact that it was shortlisted for something, I probably wouldn't have noticed the book. So, we'll see. Fasting Feasting by Anita Desai was nominated for the Booker Prize finalist. So, and it's nice and short. The Time in Between by Maria Duenas. I know very little about it. The back of the book says it's set in, let's see, the long saga, basically. We have Spanish Civil War brewing in Madrid. And we have World War II starting and returning to Madrid, and So World War II setting and Spanish. So that's nice. I have 2 arcs by Simon Tolkien that I want to get to. One I know is also set in Spain in the same time period. So those may happen together. Maybe, considering they are arcs, maybe in May, but I don't know if I want to wait that long. So probably closer to January and February. Anyway, so I know very little about it besides the historical fiction part, and it's fat. So definitely not one to be reading in a week where the number of books counts for points. And then this one is a 2020 Booker Prize shortlist. Shuggie Bain by Douglas Stewart. Yeah. I know very little about it. The cover, I'm guessing there's parents involved and children. Not really a topic I resonate with very well, but if they're well done, then they're heartwarming in a way that even gets me, cynical as I am. So, we'll see. So, you might have noticed the theme. There's a lot of prize-winning books in here. A lot of Booker Prize, actually. That wasn't intentional. I wasn't going with a list and collecting all the Bookers. But I do have a lot of Booker-nominated books in this stack, including one maybe that won. But, I'm definitely focusing on reading prize list backlists. So that's something that I'm actually focusing on. I keep thinking about it, and I collect the books, and I read 450 some books already this year. And I say that because it's only the 19th. We have days, 12 days. We have 12 days left. During those 12 days, I can finish more books. I will probably finish at least 460 books this year. So it is ridiculous that I'm, trying to read these lists and making no progress because I keep reading everything but the books on those lists. And it used to be that my access to books was the problem. But right now, anyway, I volunteer at a bookstore where my job is to sort donated books, partly. And when the books come in that I'm looking for, even if they don't come in very often, like this one, they do show up occasionally, and I'm there to sort them when they show up. And I get a free book every 6 hours I work there. So they add up. I no longer have that excuse while I work at this bookstore. In another year, we'll see. But I have a lot of books. So between now and whenever I figure out a new solution for getting access to books easily, I still have a lot of books. It's still not an excuse. I should be reading them. So, I'm actually trying to prioritize reading the books on the lists that I keep saying I'm trying to read. While I have them, I should read the ones I've got and then see where I'm at and which ones I still need to get. Especially Boxall. I've been trying to work my way through the Boxall list since 2007. So it's been a while. I've made progress, but the total number of Boxall books I've finished is about equal to the total number of books I finished this year. If I focused and only read Boxall books, I could probably finish the rest of the list in about 3 or 4 years. So it's not going to happen because some of them are harder to find. And I don't have money to be spending on books. So, yeah. But you will see a lot more emphasis on books that just happen to be nominated for things during 2026. Not exclusively. There's a lot of other stuff I want to read too. But that will be a theme. So let me grab the other 13 fiction and we'll get started on those and we'll see where we're at time-wise. I have a feeling this is part 1 of 2. I will see you in a sec. Okay, I got more books. Each stack is 13 books. Some of them are fat, though. Alright. So this first one is on, I'm pretty sure, the Boxall list. Pretty sure that's why I was looking for it. But now I'm curious about it because it has a mystery sticker on it from when it was a library book. This is American Rust by Philip Meyer. Usually the Boxall list doesn't do a lot of genre fiction, so I'm curious about that having the mystery sticker. So I might actually read that one in January, because if it's actually a mystery, I tend to be pretty quick with those, and I tend to like them. That is one of my genres. So that may be one of the first ones I finish from this set of books. I know that there are people that we have talked about this before in sprints that might want to buddy read this book. Ruth Ozeki, The Book of Form and Emptiness. It's a beautiful title. It's a recognizable cover. And I know that I have friends on BookTube that have been planning to read that book. So probably when I read that one will depend very much on who wants to buddy read it with me. If so, I have been trying to get my Discord more usable and user-friendly so that I can do buddy reads in channels on my Discord. So that will probably be how I do buddy reads for these guys. Along with other things. I will talk about my Discord randomly in pretty much all my videos at this point as I figure out how I want to use it. Here's the Jan Martel that I mentioned. This is the facts behind the Helsinki Rokomatios. Is that a real word? I have no idea. But it's what he said. And there's some other titles that I saw while I was looking at Goodreads for Jan Martel. And that look interesting. And I know at least one person from Reading Sprints chats who really likes Jan Martel's writing. So that bodes well, because I think their taste is really good. So I'm looking forward to that. I also do have Life of Pi. And as I mentioned, I have the arc of the new one. Which I don't remember the title of. We'll talk about that one when it comes up later. Because I think we're reading that one in March. It comes out March 31st. So I think we're reading it as a buddy read closer to its release date. So I might watch for more Jan Martel books. Mostly at our store we have Life of Pi. We usually have lots of copies of Life of Pi. And if anyone wants to buddy read that one with me, it's not a 26 and 26 stack book. But I would be happy to do a buddy read of Life of Pi with anyone who is interested. That might be a January book. So if you are interested in reading Life of Pi next month, or if you want to push it to February, if there's enough interest, I can hold off to February. But that's one I intend to get to sooner. This one's one I just got, actually, which is great because Love Medicine is one that's on lists. Do I remember which lists? No, but I know it was the one I was looking for. And I owned pretty much every other Louise Erdrich book that I could want to read. Not necessarily. If I like her writing, I think I finished one, but it was an audiobook and it's been a while and it was just okay. But I have a lot of her writing. I have probably a whole stack of Erdrich books at this point, including one about the Beet Queen or something like that, which I'm guessing is kind of rural farm community, but I'm not sure. I have no idea. She is Native American. I knew that already. Because for BIPOC, anytime people need a BIPOC author that is Native American, she's always one that people mention. So, it says it's the first book in Louise Erdrich's Native American series, along with The Beet Queen, I was right, Tracks, which I don't own, and at this time, soon to be published, The Bingo Palace, which I have. So it sounds like I need to get Tracks and then I can read that trilogy. Because this would be book one. And then Beet Queen. It's not a trilogy though. It's a whatever it is for 4. Anyway, Beet Queen, Tracks, and Bingo Palace. So yeah, I will probably look for that other one that I'm missing. And this might be more like April. It's not too fat, and none of hers are super fat. But they're not skimpy either. So for readathons, these actually would be useful. Although being a series, it would be a little tricky, but not too bad. So yeah, probably April, maybe May, maybe June. Certainly some of hers will be showing up in June. Because I have a lot of them now, and I'd kind of like to get started reading her. I've read a few John Banville books. This one's one I got from one of my sisters, Mrs. Osmond. This is picking up off of A Portrait of a Lady by Henry James, Mrs. Osmond being one of the principal women in that book. So in The Portrait of a Lady, Isabel is a newly wealthy young woman. She's come into an inheritance. She's now rich, and she is being courted by dudes. And she has to decide between the one that she truly loves, but who doesn't have a lot of money, and the one that's the typical dude that she probably should marry because she's a rich lady now and her set will understand it. And I don't really remember which one she married, but I'm sure I'll remember by this point. I might be doing like a little bit of a reread of Portrait of a Lady or listen to the audiobook or something, just to refresh myself about what the classic is, and then move on to this book. But if I wait much longer, I'm going to really forget the Henry James book, and then I will have to actually read it properly. And I read it once. I don't want to read it again. I found a lot of the characters really annoying. But it wasn't a bad book. Anyway. Günter Grass, Crabwalk, winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature. So Günter Grass, not this book, I think. But I'm not sure. Yeah, anyway. This one is, I think, on the Dublin Literary Award long list for a previous year. I'm pretty sure I saw it on there at some point. It might be on other lists. I have a feeling I've seen it on lists. Maybe more than Dublin Literary Award. Dublin Literary Award being one of the ones I default to, is it's probably on there because they tend to have really long initial lists, which they've, this year, going into 2026, they've shifted to being more like everybody else in that they have a big field for the initial nominated books, but then they're actually going to do a short list that comes out early next year, and then whittle that down from there. The way they were doing it this year for the 2025 award, they had a 70 book list, something like that. That was the long list, and then they narrowed it down from there. So they've just added a step so that it's not quite so dramatically drastic, going from the long list being 70 books to having a normal length short list. So we'll see how that goes. Probably it's just normalizing it to what everybody expects from a prize, which makes sense. I would love to see the stage that in the Dublin Literary Award is the nominees for the other awards, because tastes vary so much at this level of literature that the ones that make the shortlist aren't always the ones that I resonate with, and at some point that's just a who I am as a reader thing, and they're all good. Or at least some of them are good. Some of the ones that make the short list I'm not so sure about, but obviously that's because the people doing the judging are different people. Yeah. Anyway, there have been some that have been questioned by a lot of people. Anyway, The City by China Miéville. I do not know anything about this book. However, it says on the back that this is winner of the World Fantasy Award, the Arthur C. Clarke Award, and the Hugo Award for Best Novel. So there we go. I knew that I knew the title and that I should grab it. That would be why. And those awards would suggest that this is sci-fi or fantasy, which I'm definitely looking forward to. So I'm going to go into that as blind as I can, because at the moment I don't know much more about it. And it's the kind of cover that's pretty, but it doesn't give me spoilers. So I'm looking forward to that. That might be January or February, because it's not very long. And it's the sort of book that, if I like it, I can read more by that author. Next up, we have one that's quite short. I just want to get it done. Paul Auster, Timbuktu. It's got a dog on it. See that dog? I don't mind dogs, but I'm not a dog person. I'm a kitten person. So, it's probably very good. I'm just not its intended audience, maybe. We'll see. But I've liked a lot of other Paul Auster books. Maybe not 5-star liked, but they're always consistently good. So I just want to get it out of the way because it is on the Boxall list somehow. There are other books that he wrote that I think are more Boxall-ish, but I don't know. The Boxall list, by the way, it's a bunch of professors in Britain. Like 120 professors in Britain. Academics in Britain, anyway. So, that's why its book selection is what it is. Because it's a bunch of academics suggesting what everybody should read before they die. Anyway, moving on. We have one that's longlisted for the National Book Award for Fiction. Different award this time. This is An Unnecessary Woman by Rabi Alameddine. This is the same author that wrote The True Story of Raja the Gullible and His Mother, which won the National Book Award this year. So, and is one of my top, probably top 3, maybe top 1 fiction book that I read this year. I enjoyed it. It's definitely in the top 3, and I'll have to think about whether it's number 1 or just in the top 3. So if you have not read it yet, that's one of those awards where I was quite happy with their selection, because long before it was longlisted or shortlisted on their award, I'd already read it and decided it was really, really good. So, yay, they picked a good book. I have another sci-fi, Dark Star by Alan Furst. I've had it for a while. I just need to read it. It's medium length, but it's sci-fi. I like sci-fi, so that's a selling point for me. And I've read one other book by Alan Furst, I think, that I liked. So that one might be sooner, but I might save it for a competitive readathon, because it's in that middling range where it's good points page-wise without being too long. So it might be somewhere between March and June. Yeah. So we'll see. This next one is short-ish. This is Cost by Roxana Robinson. It is on the Boxall list. That's why I acquired it. It was in the Washington Post Top 5 Books of the Year, Seattle Times Best Book of the Year, New York Times Book Review Editor's Choice, and the Wall Street Journal Best Book of the Year. I don't know which prize lists it might be on. That's something that it probably was nominated at that point, but I don't know. But it's definitely on Boxall, so if just for that, I need to read it. And I've had it for about a year now, and I still haven't gotten to it. So, it's not that long. I just need to read it. This one is long. This one's a chunky one. This is The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe. For 2 Halloweens, I just said, I'm going to read this book. 2 of them. Did I start it? No, I did not. So at this point, I don't care if it's in October. it doesn't need to be Halloween. I'm just going to finish this book. Because, yeah, it's on the box sale list. Probably not on much else as far as the prize lists, because it is a classic. But it is on the box sale list of 1001 books you must read before you die. And I own it. I should read it. No idea when, because it is a chunky one. We'll see how it goes, because I haven't even started it. It's not like I DNF'd it because of the style or something. I haven't started it. I think once I actually read the first 2 pages of the introduction, but not enough to know if I'm going to like the book. This one's The Vivisector by Patrick White. I have seen this title on lists. The back of the book says winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature. So that would be why we care about this book. But I also have, I think I got the arc of a modern novel called The Vivisector. So if I got it, I'm pretty sure I got approved for it. I definitely would want to read that one and read this one and see how different books use that title and if they're connected in some way. Because this one is by a winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature. So it is not unheard of for more recent authors to be inspired by a Nobel Prize winner and their books. And then here is Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. My copy is a bit tatty. It's got tape that's coming off. I almost brought home a nicer copy, but I just need to read it. So, yeah. It has lots of pages. It's not that fat. If you want to join in the buddy read, my guess is it's going to be a pretty straightforward book. I've heard enough people say that they like it. It's probably pretty good. Yeah, but it is more of a classic. So, we'll see. So, we're at 42 minutes. We're going to do part 1 and a part 2. Because we don't really want a 2-hour video. Well, I don't know how my computer will handle a 2-hour video. So let's do part 1 and part 2. So I'll get this video up. And this list is on my Discord. I will put a Discord link in the description if you would like to join my Discord. And Discord, I am so far just kind of using it. However, it's not like I run readathons or anything. Once I figure out like the moving thing, if you missed that in a previous video, in the next year I want to move to a city that I've lived in before that I like a lot better. I know in this political climate it's a stupid time to be moving, but this next year is better than 2 years or 3 years down the road, because I don't know if things are going to get better or worse. And I would much rather be in that other location if things get worse. So as tricky as it's going to be, I would rather do this in the next year and be in a space where I know that I will be more okay, rather than living in a place where I've had issues with transportation and employment and stuff. So I'm dealing with that over the next year. But I would really like, once I get in place where I'm going, to start a readathon. And the readathon I would be starting, or will be starting, I should say, will be based around reading prize lists and big book lists. So an entire month with maybe teams, probably more just beat your own goals kind of readathon, but maybe a little bit of a competitive element. But really the competitiveness would be more picking the right books for the lists. So the readathon would be a month long, and then you'd keep checking in with that community as the various prizes are announced. But you spend that 1 month focusing on reading things that you think are going to be nominated and reading backlists from the different prizes to see what their style is and discussing it and all that kind of stuff. So if that sounds fun to you, it probably won't be 2026 because, as I said, I'm going to be moving and I have to move. Like, that part is a given. I can't stay where I'm at for reasons for more than about a year. So I have to move anyway. Might as well go where I actually want to end up. That's going to be crazy. I will probably look more and more frazzled as we get closer to this time next year. But once I'm settled, 2027, I think I might be able to do a readathon by 2027. I host a readathon. And my technology and skills will hopefully develop along the way. Technology being a big one. That's part of why I haven't been able to be a co-host on readathons, because my technology sucks. And my skills, but if I had better technology, then the skills would come along. Anyway, but that's actually going to be a problem for later. And if I don't have the capacity to be able to co-host when I'm also trying to figure out how to move, I don't think that's a problem I'm going to worry about in 2026. I'm quite happy to help out with what I can do while I figure out how to relocate the Jamie. So that's kind of the plan. Yeah. So I'm going to sign off this video. Be thinking about that readathon, because I am still in the brainstorming stages of exactly what this is going to look like, but it seems like something I would enjoy participating in. And in the next year and a few months, it's probably going to happen. I'm thinking maybe March. There are other readathons I like to participate in that seem to happen in March, but it's my birthday month. So what better way to celebrate my birthday than by having a readathon for my birthday month based around reading lists, which is what I do. It would be, prize lists and Boxall and Guardian's 1000 novels you should read and that kind of lists. There's a few other published giant lists too. So if you're not into prize lists, there would still be plenty of lists that you could go for. And then, little games like, make your own top 20 or top 50 list, and then let other people try to challenge themselves to read your list and see what they think of your list. That kind of stuff. So anyway, keep that in mind. I will sign off. How many times have I said I'm going to sign off? I'm going to sign off now, so that this video can go up. And this is part 1 of a 2-part series. The next one, part 2, will be the nonfiction 26 and 26. Because being me, how could I possibly settle for just 26 books? I'll see you in the next video. Talk to you soon.